KOB, Vail, Colorado.
Happy Monday. It's February 26th, the last Monday of February. Hard to believe the month has come to an end, but on today's show, it is National Personal Chef Day. We have lots to contribute to our very own personal chef here at TV8, Tracy Miller, so exciting stuff happening in this first hour. Plus, I have a conversation on the couch with a sustainable interior designer based out of Denver. Very fun conversation to be had. So lots happening in this first hour, and it starts right now.
Get up, get ready to start your day. The mountains are calling you out to play. Come on, we'll make you feel right at home. Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. Coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
Doing the TV8 weather today. So let's take a look at what we've got going on. 34 degrees, gorgeous morning as we look into that 8 o'clock hour, a high of 45. So we do love the spring temps, but we don't love the rain-snow mixture that is coming our way. You can see that we've got about 60% chance of that as we move throughout the day today. The winds will be coming from the west by southwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Looking at that hourly breakdown, as you can see, we've got a lot happening with the hourly. It is coming down the pipe for lots of things going on. 34 for the high, noon 31, mostly cloudy, and then as we move into the afternoon, 40 degrees for the high, and those snowy wind snow mixtures is coming through. 8 p.m. 37 snow showers throughout the day so it's going to be an interesting one in regard to weather. A great day for Monday though. Eagle 48 degrees for the high, 50% chance of that same snow rain mixture. We're going to be having that all day long throughout the valley today. Avon 60% chance as well, 46 for the high, 45 in Vail, 60% chance as well, and then sunshine in Denver, a low of 24 tonight, and then snow, 90% chance of snow. We've got some wind coming in as well from the west by southwest at 20 to 30 miles per hour. So sorry about those bluebird days that we're so used to seeing. We might not be having those today, but that is A-okay. As we move into the remainder of the 5-day, this is the part that we do enjoy. So Tuesday's a little bit weird as well. We've got a winter storm coming in, 90% chance of that, snow showers, 25 for the high, 6 degrees for the low. So going to be a fun one. Definitely visibility will be interesting. And then, as always, we love those bluebird days that will be hitting us throughout the rest of the week. Sunny on Wednesday, 35 for the high, 14 for the low. Thursday, sunny and 41, 22 for the low. And then Friday, mostly sunny, which probably means sunny all day long. 43 for the high, 27 for the low. Saturday, just about the same with a 2-degree drop at night, so 25. Looking at the remainder of the snow report, no snowfall reported over the past few days. Season total, though, at Beaver Creek, 191 inches, base depth of 64, and then those lifts are spinning 8:30 to 4, but looking at the number of lifts that are open, you've got 25. Beaver Creek is at 100% terrain, and then 166 trails are open. Looking at the Vail Mountain report, sometimes they get a little more snow than Beaver Creek does, but not the case right now. 207 inches for the season total, the base depth of 64, and as Ross likes to say, we are all about that base. 31 lifts are open, 277 trails are open. And Vail, I'm sorry, but it looks like that 100% party that Kevin and I keep talking about is not happening yet. 99% of the terrain is open, but it's going to be a very interesting show. So make sure you stay tuned. Go fill up that cup of coffee, and we are going to get right into it after this.
Good morning, Vail.
Join us on board the Leadville Railroad Winter Express. Stay cozy in our heated lounge cars. marvel at the stunning winter landscape. Sip delicious hot chocolate. Don't forget to check out our new specials. Book today at leadvillerailroad.com.
Hi, it's Julio from TV8 Vail. Do you ever wonder why our tagline is "There's more for you on 92"? Because we're always bringing you more. More Good Morning Vail from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. all year long. More local coverage with Vail Vibes and Covered Bridge on TV8. More opportunities to participate with new roundtable panels on mountain perspectives and our new Spanish programming block coming this fall. Find us on Comcast Xfinity Channel 92, on YouTube, or our website at tv8vail.com.
For TV8 in Vail, I'm Avisha Scarborough at the Gerald R. Ford Amphitheater. We'll see you next time. Hi friends, welcome to a little behind the scenes. I'm Avisha Scarborough, and I'm so excited to be part of the team at TV8 in Vail. I love the outdoor lifestyle here, I love the arts and culture, and I love being part of this community. My show is called Vail Vibes with Avisha, where I tell you about all the amazing activities going on here in Vail and surrounding areas all year round.
Good morning, Vail.
Well, it is National Personal Chef Day, and I can say that we have our very own personal chef here in-house at TV8, Tracy Miller, and we are going to do a tribute to Tracy. She's showing us how to make tacos, but her cuisine is just absolutely delectable. Let's take a look at all she has to say.
I love our recipe today, especially because it's summertime and we are going to have the fresh of the freshest. So today we're doing potato tacos with a tomatilla salsa, and they're really fun. They're really unique in flavor, and this is going to be a recipe, a sauce that you'll probably keep with you because it goes with a lot more than just potato tacos. Okay, first things first, today we're going to use the oven because we are going to cook the tomatillas with some onions and jalapeno so that we get them nice and soft and they kind of burst. And the first thing I want to teach you, if you don't already know this, is use parchment paper whenever you are baking anything. Why? Well, first of all, you're going to get all the goodies. I know last time we talked about caramelization of veggies and meat in your pan. The caramelization is going to land on this parchment paper, and then you're going to be able to get it all into the blender. It's going to be really delicious, delicious. Thumbs up on that one. So parchment paper, it's expensive at the store, but it's worth every penny for dishpan hands. Okay, first of all, let's talk about tomatillas. They look like this, and you're going to see them all over the place right now. They're a fruit, I believe, because they have seeds in them and they're really kind of mushy. So what you do is you buy the tomatillas and then you have to peel the husk off. So you peel them off, peel them all the way off. Make sure you get that little middle stem out. Peel them all the way off. And when you're buying them, you kind of look at them like, okay, are they looking green? Have they kind of come apart from the fruit? Because that makes it a lot easier to peel. Sometimes they're stuck on there, but this time they weren't. So there you go. We're going to peel them. So we have about 6 of them right here. The thing about these guys is they're sticky. So right now, my fingers are super sticky, and it's like, it's like sticky. Like, I'm kind of faking that a little, but it's sticky enough to like hold your fingers there. So once you peel them, you need to wash them off. So I'm gonna go wash them under some warm water so I can get that sticky layer off. And you kind of need to get that sticky layer off of your hands as well. All right, not a big deal, just a quickie, just a quick little rinse so all that sticky stuff comes off. Now what we're going to do is we are going to quarter these big ones, okay? They're super juicy, so they're going to kind of burst in the oven, and sometimes if you're not paying attention, they get a little smoky too, so you really just want to kind of keep your eyes on them because it's like there's going to get a lot of liquid in them. These are a sour tasting fruit, and as you see the inside, see they've got all those little seeds and stuff like that. They're delicious, but they are a little sour tasting. So we're going to counteract that with some of our sauce. So what we're going to do is roast tomatillas along with about a half an onion. We have 6 tomatillas and about a half an onion. I'm just going to chop these up so that it kind of cooks fast. I want to mix it in with the tomatillas because the onions will cook a little faster, but the juice from the tomatilla will actually kind of keep the onions just cooking a little bit at a slower rate so that they don't burn and caramelize. Me, I'm a spicy girl. I need to have a jalapeno. I typically just put half a jalapeno right on there. I'm gonna cut off the stem. This is a biggie. This is a big one, so I'm gonna cut them in a couple of different pieces so that it cooks a little faster. And I cook it on the edge because not everybody likes jalapenos. And once you cook a jalapeno, they tend to get pretty darn spicy. It is my belief through experimentation that if you roast a jalapeno, it is going to be more spicy than if you don't roast it, if you eat it raw. Okay, let's put a little bit of salt and pepper on here because we want to season everything as we go. And we're going to put a little tiny bit of olive oil. We don't need much because it's going to be nice and juicy. The oven is at 400 degrees, and we're just going to pop this in for about 20 to 25 minutes. So I'm going to send that right over there, and then we're going to talk about potatoes. So right now, let's get our pan. Let's start heating up our pan because we are going to add a few chopped up onions, which I actually already have my onions chopped up over there. We're going to add some carrots. I decided to put carrots in this recipe because what's going to happen is we are going to have a sour tomatilla salsa. That's what it is. It's pretty sour. So here, whenever you're cutting any kind of fruit or vegetable, you want to make sure you find a flat surface for that guy, okay? Because look, I'm trying to cut that. It's rolling all over the place. I'm trying to cut that. It's got a flat surface. So always just try to get a flat surface. We are going to cut everything about the same size. So we're going to cut these carrots just about maybe 1/4 of an inch is what that ends up looking like. So here we go. Flatten that out. Get my cutting board in a good spot too. You always have to make sure your cutting board isn't wiggling around. Sometimes when I'm teaching cooking classes and somebody has their cutting board like halfway on a plate or something and it's wiggling all around, I can't take it. Don't do that. You're going to hurt yourself. Make sure everything's flat. Make sure your knife is sharp, and make sure everything is out of the way. Okay, so put a little tiny bit of oil in your pan. Carrots are going to take a long time, so we're going to get those carrots right in here right when the pan gets warm. So we've got some carrots there. Just going to do 1 carrot. Okay, so see my pan is moving around like this? I do not like that. So what I'm going to do is put down either a paper towel or a dish towel. That will give us kind of a nice spot so that we can actually have, like, see See, now it's not wiggling around a little bit. So if your cutting board is moving around, wet a paper towel, put it underneath it, or just use a dish towel and put it under there, because we don't want anything wiggling around. Okay, so we have a little onion left over. Let's dice it up really small. We don't want too much onion because we're kind of getting carried away with the sauce and everything. So maybe just like the same amount as carrots. We do probably about a half a cup of carrots and a half a cup of onion. And then we're going to put, I can feel my pan is warming up a little. Let's hear. Oh, we got a little baby sizzle. So let's get that olive oil spread around. Got a little bit of a sizzle. Here we go. Those onions are sizzling up too. We're just going to kind of let those sit there and cook. Okay, those are going to sit there and cook away. Now we're going to get into our potatoes. And potato tacos, they're one of my favorites. But again, we're going to have to cut these little guys because we don't want them to roll around. And we want them to be cut pretty much the same size as everything else. Because when you're cutting something and you're cooking something, if you can cook them at the same rate, then that's perfect. Those carrots are going to cook a little faster, so they go in first. So with these, let's just cut them so that they are about, I say about a quarter of an inch or so. So however you can dice up your potato to get it to be about that size, because what's going to happen is it's going to cook really nicely, and we are going to have kind of a chunk in our taco. You know, we don't want them too small, but you don't want them too big. So just kind of cut them. This is called dicing. You just cut them as you can. Now that we have this roly potato, you could either do 1, 2, 3 layers right there to get the size. Right? And then you have to, one of the things about healthy cooking is you will be chopping veggies all the time. All the time. If you want to cook healthy, having a whole fruit or veggie is the way to go. That's how you get the most nutrients. So if that is something that's important to you, start figuring out your best method to chop things and start recruiting your kids and your family, because that's really the only way that you can actually eat healthy. And even when you go to the grocery store, and I know sometimes you just have to cheat and buy the stuff that's already pre-cut, but that's already going to start to lose some of its nutrients. Right the second that you cut veggies, they start to lose their nutrients. So you have to be really careful if you're trying to be super duper healthy that you get things and you kind of cut them and then you eat them. Eat them right away, really. You don't want your fruits and vegetables to go bad too, because they're so expensive right now. It's ridiculous. So I have the yellow potatoes and the red potatoes. Red potatoes are a little more firm than the yellows, but I think we can mix them both in here because we're going to also add some beans and stuff and make this kind of a really nice flavor. All right. Give these guys a stir. I can see that they're starting to caramelize a little, so that's nice. My pan is on a medium high, so I'm kind of cranking it a little to get that caramelization on these veggies. Do you see that those onions are starting to really brown up? I cut them really small. So once again, we're going to see that cutting things at different sizes is going to cook at a different rate. So those are cut a little small. I do like when the onions caramelize because they give it a really nice flavor. But now we're going to add the potatoes. So add those and spread them around your pan. You don't have to use your hands if that makes you nervous. Use your spatula. And then we're going to season them with salt and pepper. Not much though, because we're going to use taco seasoning for this to just really give it the taco flavor. So we don't want to put too much on it right now. I'm going to add another little splash of olive oil or whatever oil you like to use. And we are going to let those kind of caramelize up. Now, a lot of people like to have vegetable tacos, and these are really just a great excuse to have some of the fresh fruits and veggies that are out there right now. The fresher that your vegetables are, the quicker they are going to end up cooking. So you can see that these are really good. They're already starting to brown a little. What I am going to do is put a little bit of water in there, and then I'm going to let them cook. We're going to cook that water down a little bit. So let me get about a half a cup of water. That'll just kind of help cook them a little faster. kind of like you're boiling potatoes, right? Like we all do. So we're going to let those cook just a little bit. That'll start to soften them up. And it'll also start to bring out some of the natural starches in both the carrots and the potatoes. So we're going to start making it a little more saucy, which is nice. We are going to have a nice tomatilla salsa, but we are going to start making that a little bit. This get a little more cooked and a little more, I don't want to say gooey, but kind of gooey and just kind of stuck together a little bit. Okay, so we have the tomatillos in the oven at 400 degrees. They are with onions, a little salt and pepper, and some olive oil. Those are going to take about 20 minutes before they soften up. What we're going to need next is a blender, and this is we're going to blend that tomatilla salsa, and we are going to add a ton of cilantro. So cilantro is so good right now. And when you're working with cilantro, you can use the stems and the leaves. A lot of other leafy greens like parsley, you don't really want to use the stems. But with cilantro, you can. I use it all the way up until like the very end. And at that part, I'm just like, okay, that's going to take a lot of blending. I'll just get rid of those. So why don't we put a little bit of the cilantro in here. We're going to put the tomatillas in here once they're done cooking. We're just kind of pre-prepping. And then we do need some salt. Like you need some serious salt with these tomatillas because they are sour as can be. So I'm going to put about a half a teaspoon of salt right in there. I'm also going to put a splash of lime juice. So if you're using a fresh lime, you'll use about half of it. If you're using this concentrated, you'll use about 2 teaspoons probably. And then I use a little bit of orange juice as well. And I just keep this in my fridge because I make salad dressing out of it. I use it for sauces. You can mix it with peaches if you want, if you need a little something acidic. It's really just kind of nice to have. And we're going to use about a tablespoon of orange juice in here to hopefully give us a little bit of that sweetness. It really depends on how sour those tomatillas are. Okay, so we have the cilantro, salt. I'm not going to put pepper in there because I'm really hoping for that jalapeno to go in here. But right now we have cilantro, salt, lime juice, orange juice. So we've got the acidic that we need in here and also that cilantro, which is going to give it a beautiful green color. And if you notice over here, we have our potatoes and everything is kind of starting to get that gooey kind of consistency together. So you can see that those starches are starting to come out and they're starting to make it nice and consistent together. They're kind of, the flavors are all starting to meld together. So what we're going to do now is we are going to turn this down a little bit because I got it cranked right now. You can hear that, right? That's the sound you want when you're cooking. You want to hear the sizzle. We're going to turn this down to low. We're going to let it cook for 10 more minutes. The tomatillas are going to cook for 10 more minutes. And then when we return, we're going to do the finishing touches for everything.
Good morning, Vail.
Hi, it's Master TV at Vail. We want to invite you all to the Wacky Winter Reading Program. It's open to all ages. All you have to do is read 10 books or 1,000 pages. For more information, go on our website, tv8vail.com. And thank you to our sponsor, the Eagle Valley Library District.
Hello, I'm Shervin Rezai here with Chenna Garden in Avon, Colorado. My hobbies are obviously skiing. I've been skiing since I was 3 years old. In addition to that, music's always been my first passion, and you can see that alive and well at Chenna Garden with our little record nook, where we have over 300 records, and we'll continue to grow that collection and play vinyl records for you while you enjoy your cuisine. Chenna Garden is Avon's oldest running restaurant. We've been open since 1988 when my mother set up shop and wanted to begin offering Avon, Colorado the best quality Chinese food that we could get. And I started working in the restaurant when I was 8 years old as a dishwasher making $1 a day. And then one of the servers, pushed by my dad, told me I should ask for a raise, and then I got $5 a day, but then I had to put all $25 at the end of the week into a savings account, which actually helped me out in college. So after college, I went out to New York for law school, and I spent 15 years out in New York City practicing law and working in-house, which exposed me to a lot of restaurants all over the world, all over the country. And after getting exposure like that, I realized that we have this beautiful restaurant here that has so much potential. So in the fall of 2023, we came back, remodeled, and tried to get this back to give that special feel that I've known all my life here. We've been offering a lot of new cuisines, including German cuisine with our good family friend Gunther Schmidt, who's been serving up authentic German cuisine in the Valley for many, many decades. Why not? This is America. We can serve German food in a Chinese restaurant, and we just let it try. And after a year of it, it's been building up some success, and we're just having a lot of fun just seeing the look of bewilderment on every customer when they're like, how am I getting German food in a Chinese restaurant that's this good at this quality? China Garden is really all about that community, and that first starts with the local community. We always try to take care of all of us who are working hard, grinding it, so that we can also enjoy what this valley has to offer. And through that, we get a nice mix of word of mouth, tourists who come in. We're looking for something a little more authentic and that has a history with the valley. I'm a proud member of the Avon Vail Valley community, lifelong member as I was born here, and I hope you come out and see us here at China Garden. We're open every day, 4 to 9, any day the mountain's open. Cheers.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back. Okay, your potatoes should be a little bit softer. If they need to cook a little bit longer, then let them cook a little longer. But this is one of the reasons why I like to chop them up really small. What we're going to do now is we are going to add kind of our liquids, our juices, our binders to make these tacos really creamy and delicious. So you either have fresh tomatoes or you have a can of tomatoes, and at about this time, we're going to add those tomatoes. If you have the can of tomatoes with juice, just go ahead and put that whole thing right in there, because those juices are going to evaporate after you cook them for a little while. So here we go. We've got those now, and that's going to give it some nice juice because we have a little bit more of the crunch from the carrots and from the potatoes, and now we need some juice. Now, I'm really kind of making this easy because I'm just using some taco seasoning just to give it that full-on taco feel and to make it easy. You can, of course, make up your own taco mixes if you want, and if you do want a recipe for that, feel free to email me at tracy@colorfulcooking.com. But these are really nice, and if you can get the less sodium mixes, then they don't have that much salt. So sprinkle that all over. If you have those juices from those tomatoes right now, that's going to be perfect. We're also going to add some refried beans. And this one you do as you want. I love refried beans. I'm going to add the whole jar. But if you're, again, like getting the kids to just start eating veggie meals, or the husband or the wife or whomever, you can add as many as you want. I like the refried beans. They just give it a nice flavor, and they also give it a nice consistency. So once we get those in there, if you don't have those tomatoes with the juice in them, we're going to have to add a little more juice in here. So fill this up about a quarter of the way with water and throw that right in there. Once those beans start softening up, then we can really kind of mush everything together. But right now, you're just going to have to wait for those to soften up a little bit before everything gets combined. Doesn't take long. Okay, so there we go. So in here we have carrots and onions, potatoes, a lot of potatoes, and now we have tomatoes and refried beans and taco sauce. Of course, if you're like, whoa, that's a lot of stuff, you can just do the potatoes and the beans if you want. I mean, you can really do whatever you want. This is a vegetable taco, so you can kind of do whatever veggies you want, and they're all so good right now. Okay. Tomatilla time. This is the best part of this recipe, in my opinion. All right, let me get to the oven. Those tomatillas should be bursting now and super juicy. So let's see if they are. Yes, they are. And there's a little caramelization on our jalapeno as well. So here we go. We're gonna take these over here. And now if it's a hot summer day and you're like, Tracy, I am not gonna heat up that oven, you can always cook this in a pan with a lid on it. And they'll still burst and it will still turn out really good. Okay, here we go. I am going to take the jalapeno off for now. Those got nice and roasted up. And then look at this little trick. Here is why we love parchment paper. Look how clean my pan is. And then I can take this and just get all the goodies right in there. And look. You want to cook for your roommate? They don't want to clean? They don't have to because that's so easy. Okay, what's in here? Tons of cilantro, salt, orange juice, lime juice, tomatillas that are cooked, and onions. So now, okay, do I do the jalapeno? Do I do the jalapeno? Okay, the camera gal says yes, she likes it spicy. She's a vegetarian too, so she's gonna be testing this one. I'm gonna do 1 piece of jalapeno, 2 pieces. The seeds are still in there and they're roasted. I think it's gonna be a kick. I think we're gonna get a little kick from this. Okay, in the blender. I'll tell you what, I bought this blender at Kohl's like 15 years ago for like literally $10. And it's awesome. I love it. And it's lightweight so I can carry it to the studio if I need to. Okay, so we're just going to blend this out. Beautiful, or is that beautiful? Like the green really comes from the cilantro, so the more green you use, the more vibrant the color is going to be. So that's what I like. However, we have been working with a bunch of fresh ingredients, right? We worked with the fresh tomatillas, which are super sour. We worked with the jalapeno, which you never know how spicy it's going to be. So at this point in time, you absolutely have to test what you made here, especially if you're going to serve it to other people. So I would say, take a test. Yum. I like it. It's really tart. It's very sour. So if that turns out to be too sour for you, oh, now I'm getting a little of the jalapeno. It's not that hot. We might be able to add more. So this is when you decide what you want more of. If you need a little more orange juice to sweeten it up, sometimes when the jalapenos are way too tart for me, I put in a little tiny bit of honey. I'm not going to do that today, but like I said, I like the tomatillas. They have a sour taste. You're definitely going to get a sour taste here. So now let's move on over to building our tacos because everything's pretty much done. I like the corn tortilla because we're working with a lot of carbs here, right? We've got the potatoes, we've got beans, and we've got a tortilla. So I'm going to say we're going to go with the corn tortilla and little street tacos, which I did notice might be discontinued from City Market. So if you can't find those, just do whatever tacos you like. Here we go, easy enough. And this is why I like the beans, because then everything just kind of sticks right there together. So we have potatoes, tomatoes, carrots, because those carrots are going to help with a little sweetness, and they cook slower, so they're going to give it a little bit of a crunch. And then we have the refried beans, which are going to give it that nice Mexican kind of flair. And then we have the tomatillo salsa, so let me get that all cleaned up here. Right now we're looking vegan. If you want to add some cheese to it, go for it. But let's add this beautiful green, vibrant sauce. This is also delicious on chicken or pork tenderloin. If you still had some pork tenderloin left from last class, you might like it here. It's still a little warm because it just came out of the oven, so that's nice. Sometimes, you know, if it's cold, it can kind of change the feel of the taco. And then I'm just going to put a couple raw onions right on top to give it that crunch and that bite. Now, a lot of flavors going on here. If you wanted to add a few more jalapenos, you could do that right now, which is probably what I'll do when we get off camera, but I don't need my nose running and start coughing and acting like it's too hot. But this is your basic vegetarian taco. It's super healthy, it's vegan, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm Tracy Miller. I'll see you next time.
Good morning, Vail.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
TV8 te brinda la mejor programación en español todos los días. Sintoniza Conexión Latina los lunes, miércoles y viernes a las 7 de la tarde con repeticiones los fines de semana. Además, te presentamos nuestro nuevo programa Sabores y Creaciones, donde hemos juntado tus recetas y manualidades favoritas en un solo lugar los martes y jueves a las 7 de la tarde. Y por último, disfruta de Daily Flash Latino, con noticias y entretenimiento en tendencia los sábados a las 7 de la tarde. Te esperamos por el canal 92 de Comcast, nuestra página de Facebook TV8 Conexión Latina, nuestro canal de YouTube TV8 Vail Good Morning Vail o nuestra página web tv8vail.com.
Well, Archer and I are going to get headed on further down the trail, but I hope you'll catch up with us a little bit later. Hi, I'm Ben Roof, and I'm one of the new hosts here at TV8. I'm so excited to share all of my explorations throughout the Vail Valley with my dog Archer, where we'll be taking you to hiking trails, biking trails, maybe we'll go rafting, fishing, or whatever else we can come up with. I'm so excited to share all of that with you in my new segment, Outdoor Adventures. Don't forget to catch up with us every day right here at TV8 Vail or at tv8vail.com, because there's always more for you on 92.
Do you have an interesting hobby or skill you'd like to share for Vail Valley? We want to hear from you. We're looking for people to share their musical, artistic, culinary, woodworking, athletic, or technical talents on Good Morning Vail. If you'd like to share your talents with the community, email Danielle at tv8vail.com. Join the community conversation. There's more for you on 92.
Join us on board the Leadville Railroad Winter Express. Stay cozy in our heated lounge cars. Marvel at the stunning winter landscape. Sip delicious hot chocolate. Don't forget to check out our new specials. Book today at leadvillerailroad.com.
Good morning, Vail.
It's Kimberly here with the TV8 Weather Center. Let's take a look at today's forecast. As you can see, it's 34 degrees around 8 a.m. this morning. We've got a rain and snow combination of about 60% and a high of 45. But before we move on, that rain and snow will come in the afternoon. We're looking at winds west by southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Well, 25 miles per hour, actually. It's getting up there because we have a storm rolling in tomorrow. Hourly temperatures today, 34 for the high, mostly cloudy. 31 at noon is where the temperature kind of varies a bit, and then it gets a little bit warmer again at 4 o'clock with 40 for the high, snow and rain showers throughout the afternoon, and then 37 at 8 o'clock, and continuing with that weird wintry mix that we've got coming in. Looking at the I-70 corridor, Denver, as always, our sunshiny sister. We've got Vail at 45 degrees for the high, 60% chance of that precipitation. Avon just about the same with 1 degree in temperature. We've got 46 for the high. Eagle, 48 and 50% chance of precipitation in Eagle. Looking at the weather tonight, though, low of 24. So it's getting a little bit colder as we move throughout the night. Snow of 90% chance, and then snow showers all day long. Windy Winds coming from the west by southwest at 20 to 30 miles per hour, and that's when you know the storm is officially here. Looking at the 5-day forecast, so that storm that I'm talking about is coming in on Tuesday, a high of 25, single digits Tuesday night, low of 6, and 90% chance of precipitation. And then Wednesday, we have some more snow, but it's 35 for the high, and the sunshine is back, 14 for the low. Thursday, sunny, 41 for the high, 22 for the low, and then the weekend, you've got 43 for the high, sunshine all weekend long, and then 27 and 25 degrees respectively. So lots happening in the weather. It's going to be a weird one. You know, we are entering into the month of March, which means springtime temps are on its way. But before we get started with all of that weather, we'll be right back with this quick break.
Come on.
Hi friends, welcome to Vail Vibes. Avisha Scarborough here. Today we are coming to you from Root and Flower, one of Vail's most beloved craft bars. We're going to be talking to one of the co-owners who's not only going to show us his favorite drinks, but he's also going to show us how we can make them ourselves at home. With a single flower painted on its door, Root and Flower in Vail Village is unassuming and slightly hidden from the outside. But once you're inside, the art of cocktail mixology is next level. Their craft cocktails are elevated versions of the classics, with extra care and creativity put into the ingredients and garnishes. This is Jeremy Campbell.
I'm an equal opportunity drinker, and what I mean by that is I like cocktails, I like wine, I like beer.
He and his partners Sam Bizant and Matt Limbaugh created Root and Flower to fill a need in Vail after spending years working in the restaurant business.
So the three of us all kind of worked together for a really long time, and it was actually Samantha and I were talking one day about what Vail is missing. And one of the things we thought Vail was missing was a higher-end bar. Well, you can go to, ski bars and take a shot and, kind of get drunk, but there's nothing else with that kind of elevated experience. So that was kind of the genesis. And so we wanted to say, if you come here, we'd have top-tier cocktails, we'd have top-tier wine, and in this case, also top-tier bites to eat. But we still wanted to retain that soul of being a bar.
With the soul of a bar and the heart of a gourmet restaurant, the owners encourage their team to get creative with drink recipes. This drink is called American is Apple Pie, and it was created by one of their bartenders. If you like your drinks hot, boozy, and delicious, this is the drink for you. Here Jeremy shows us how it's made. First, a little bit of apple cordial.
What apple cordial is literally a bunch of apples that we've cooked down with brown sugar.
Next, some raisin rum.
These are 151 that we've soaked in raisins.
An ounce and a half of apple brandy, a 1/4 ounce Amaro, and a 1/4 ounce ginger liqueur. Add 2 ounces of hot water and then steam it all together. Finally, he tops it off with some cognac-infused whipped cream and an apple. Voila!
Cheers.
Next up, Jeremy shows us how to make a gin and tonic like no other. He uses local floral tonic by Lost Identity and a local Colorado gin called Caprock. He adds soda, ice, and rosemary, and we've got a botanical gin and tonic.
It's very chuggable. Cheers.
And lastly, we're in ski season, so we had to include a wintertime favorite, the Yuletide, Root and Flower's take on a mulled wine. He adds 4 ounces of red wine with some handcrafted citrus tonic and 2 spicy Caribbean liqueurs. He adds some hot water, then heats it up and adds a garnish that doubles as a lid.
Holds the heat in.
So we've got our drinks and we've got a beautiful charcuterie board to go with them. Jeremy leaves us with this little bit of advice to get the most enjoyment out of your refreshments.
I always say I like to earn my drinks. If I'm just sitting around, drinking, then it just doesn't taste the same. But if I'm up there skiing all day and putting in a lot of work, then my drink's going to taste a lot better.
Cheers to that. That's it for today, friends. Thank you so much for watching Vail Vibes. I'm Avisha Scarborough, and I'll see you next time.
Good morning, Vail.
It's the fastest half hour in television. Toyota's Race Week takes you inside the high-speed world of NASCAR. Go behind the scenes for a look into the high adrenaline world of motorsports and hear from your favorite drivers as they discuss the drive to a championship. If you love NASCAR, you won't want to miss Toyota's Race Week.
America was built on a love for the outdoors. We are a nation of sportsmen, blessed with magnificent natural resources. With broad interests across water and field, we are united in our devotion to nature and conservation. Join us every week for the best shows celebrating the outdoor lifestyle. Outdoor America. Live free.
Join us on board the Leadville Railroad Winter Express. Stay cozy in our heated lounge cars. Marvel at the stunning winter landscape. Sip delicious hot chocolate. Don't forget to check out our new specials. Book today at leadvillerailroad.com.
When you're in Vail, you're in vacation mode, and you need a flexible home tour experience that fits into your schedule. We've transformed how you view and buy homes in the Vail Valley. With immersive, cutting-edge technology, you can explore properties 10 times faster. In our lounge, we guide you through this digital world on a 16-foot screen where you can imagine your next home in comparison to your favorite recreational spots. Say goodbye to multi-day home tours and hello to a quick stop between your other plans. That's the power of the Immersion Theater.
I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now! Our independent news hour offers diverse perspectives and unique opinions, often unheard in the mainstream media, live as the news unfolds. Tune in for Democracy Now!, the War and Peace Report, weekday mornings at 9 and evenings at 6 on TV8 Vail, Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. There's more for you on Channel 92.
Good morning, Vail.
It's such a fun Monday morning for me because I am joined in studio by guests that are so interesting in what they do, but also there are some of my closest friends. Joining me today on the couch is the interior designer, Sydney Lennon, owner of Sentio Design. So Sydney, how are you?
Good, I am great. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you here. So interior design, it's what you do. It's so interesting to hear about all that you are working on and what you've got going on in your business and your personal and professional life. So tell me about Sentio and what you're doing.
Yeah, at Sentio we focus on wellness and sustainable design. We work in the commercial and residential sector, which is really fun because we do homes, which I love. It's so intimate, so impactful, but the commercial side is really cool because then you get to go visit it and, it kind of, you design for the masses, which is a little bit more of a challenge.
Absolutely. So you're sustainable in your design. So what does that mean and what does that look like?
Yeah, I think sustainability touches on a lot of things. It's not just material composition is huge, but also trying to, during the renovation process, maybe preserve as much as you can, repurpose it, or actually get rid of it properly. And then also what you bring in, right? So from construction to actual product, sourcing stuff that's ethical, reducing transportation, and using product designers that are sustainable in their techniques from the beginning as well.
Awesome. And so that's a really big piece, and you actually have a philosophy, which not a lot of businesses really make sure that they're having a social impact in the same way that you are. So tell me about your philosophy.
Yeah. I kind of have a science background, and so I'm really intrigued by what I call data-driven design. So everything from the sustainability to also the psychological impact, so the well-being, whether it be your HVAC system, your acoustics, your lighting, also the functionality of your home, and then what do you want to feel? Do you want it to feel calm? Do you want it to feel kind of enlivening, right?
Mhm.
What does the space need, and what are you trying to accomplish? So we do try to collect data, qualitative and quantitative, on our projects and learn, because every project's very unique. So it's really fun.
Awesome. So projects, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
You've got some exciting things happening right now. So tell me all about the projects you're working on.
Yeah, so I think like kind of our top couple this year, residential, we're working on a 1920s home in San Francisco. So we end up with a lot of historical landmarks because the property owners want to be really thoughtful about how they go about that process in terms of preservation and also trying to reduce an impact, because historical homes and buildings have a lot of carbon capture, which is really nice. So that is a really fun project for an amazing family. And then we're working on a community center in Denver and a restaurant, boutique hotel, 4-story, also historical landmark in Scottsbluff, Nebraska. And that is a really cool project for this kind of small downtown to help really revitalize it and create this mixed-use space for the whole community.
That's great. So you've got projects in San Francisco, Nebraska, Denver, not to mention elsewhere. How do you find your clients? How do you connect and really make sure that you're working in the right partnership?
Yeah, luckily a lot of ours are referrals, so they kind of already know what we're about and our values, and a lot of them are seeking that from the start. So a lot of them are referrals, and other than that, I do a lot of work in Denver in the design world, Women in Design, and other arts organizations, and so I do find clientele through that. I have a lot of great female architects and other like design build partners that also love to share us, which is awesome.
That's great. And so you're making this like impact on the environment and how you do your business, but you also are impacting the community, and you host a lot of different events. So talk to me about Sentio Design and the events that you do.
Yeah, I work with Women in Design and CBCA and some other organizations. The community center that we're working with in Denver is a 5280 movement, which is for young adult and foster care population, to provide them with things like getting their birth certificates, getting job training, getting housing, helping them get back on their feet. So everything from empowering creative women to helping vulnerable populations in our area. We're really passionate about kind of this circular philosophy of, the impact of the community and the environment is really important for us.
It's awesome. Yeah. So what do you have coming up in 2024? So you've got these projects that you're working on. What's the plan? What's your vision? What are you doing?
Yes, well, I'm heading to San Francisco on Friday to go visit. It's a 1920s Victorian home, so I'll go on site for that, which is really fun. I'll go see some of my family as well. And then I'm also going to Nebraska next week, so I have a lot of travel, which is really fun, part of my job. A lot of what we do is on the computer and rendering and researching. So when we actually get to go on site, that's like my favorite time of the project. And we'll go on a couple times, but that's the majority of what we have going on for now. And it'll keep us busy for quite a while. A lot of these projects, especially commercial, may take a couple years. So when we find clientele, we're really partners with them, and it's really a collaborative experience between everyone. Because I think, my philosophy and thought on design is really to listen to what people need that are actually using the space, whether it be commercial or residential. I think that's one of the most important things we can do as designers.
That's great. So walk me through what a process would look like. So let's say one of our viewers wants to reach out and connect with you. How would you start and begin the process of design?
Yes, we'll start with an initial consultation. Sometimes we can start with an initial on-site too, depending on how large the project is. We do everything from furbishing and decorating to new builds and full remodels. So I have a lot of questions to ask you in the beginning, right? Because I want to know your goals, tangible and intangible, right? So we help people figure out and navigate what it is they're looking for, because sometimes it's hard to describe with design, right?
Sure.
Sometimes
Sure.
people don't know their style, or they kind of know how they want to feel, but they don't know how to get there. And there's a lot of technical things that we do as well. So I'll ask questions that sometimes people haven't thought about and what their goals are. And then after that, we go through, we get measurements. Usually we start connecting partners, right? If we need an architect or a GC, even a structural engineer, we start to source those people locally with wherever your project may be. We've worked up in the mountains, we've worked in Nebraska, and also in larger cities. So we're kind of used to going through and interviewing the partners we need, collecting bids, and then as soon as we have what we need for AutoCAD, we start to render out your space, and then we start kind of pitching looks and also pulling together, like I said, some of those more technical things, like it could be appliances or certain features that you want. We start to get numbers, because sometimes I can tell you right away, and there are certain things, especially commercial, that are very unique, and so we start to, we're creative problem solvers. So a lot of what we do is proposing, and then we usually up front meet more frequently depending on how long your project is.
Sure.
And pretty much either, whether it be weekly or bi-weekly, continue to chip away at progress on them.
That's amazing. And I think just like looking at what you do, I've seen you actually in the trenches, and you are so well spoken and definitely ask the right questions. But how do you go about working within a budget? So somebody either comes to you with a top line, or they don't have a budget at all, and so it's just like you said, how do you put the puzzle pieces together?
Yes, options, right? So we can kind of, especially with some people, you may want to splurge certain places, or you may want to break it up in phases, especially when we work with kind of mid-size or small businesses, right? They may want to use cash flow, or just people, right? You may want to do it in phases and strategize financially that way. So we'll help you figure out what it is you should prioritize, so that you can do it in a way that's manageable for you. And again, that comes down to those questions up front of, what do you want? And then I can help you figure out what that's going to look like and give you options of where we can save. And I know how to stretch a dollar and make it work visually. I'm very good at that. But also, I give options if there's certain appliances or certain features that you really want to push for.
That's great. So Sydney, where can we go to follow you on social media, on your website, or book a consult?
Centia Design Studio is our website, and we have our service lists on there. We have our portfolio. We're on Instagram, Facebook, all the major social medias. So that'll be a good place, and you can book a call there with us.
Awesome. Well, Sydney, I love having you here on the couch. It's so much fun to have some personal connections join me here.
Yes,
and what you do is so impressive. The projects that you work on, from residential to commercial. So best of luck in your travels, and excited to get you back here locally so that we can see all the work that you do.
Oh, of course. Thank you so much for having me on, Kim.
Absolutely. Now, we have a lot more in store for this Good Morning Vail edition on Monday. We'll be right back after this.
Good morning, Vail.
Eyepieces of Vail has been a fixture in the Vail community for over 30 years. From designer frames and sunglasses to high-performance sports frames, prescription goggles, and in-demand accessories like helmets, goggle lenses, and foldable reading glasses, our inventory raises the optical bar. Visit one of our 7 locations today and see why generations of loyal customers return time after time for our unmatched service and inventory. Eyepieces, the art of vision.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
When people think of world-class destinations, they're drawn to a place that provides opportunities for fine dining, shopping, superior lodging, exciting events, and unparalleled outdoor activities. Park City, Utah and Vail, Colorado are renowned destinations for travelers and extraordinary homes for residents. Feature your exceptional products and services in these two luxury communities. Advertise with Park City Television and TV8 Vail. Contact us today.
Do you love the outdoor lifestyle? Make sure you tune in every day at 8 p.m. to catch Scoreboard Nation. It's an outdoor lifestyle show dedicated to your 3 favorite mountain towns, Vail, Beaver Creek, Park City, and Reno, Tahoe. Join us for an incredible venture. Find us on TV8 Vail, Park City Television, or at thescoreboardnation.com. We can't wait to see you there.
You're watching K34QB, Vail, Colorado.
Happy Monday. We are at the top of the 8 o'clock hour here on Good Morning Vail, and it is February 26th. I'm your host, Kimberly Perot, and thanks for joining. So excited in this next hour because we have some special guests joining us on the couch, one of which is my very own brother, actor Greg Perot, as well as a good friend of ours, Alex Livingston, professional poker player. And we'll also be looking at eyepieces of Vail, and then I will be talking with the author of the latest and final installment of the Realm Breaker series. So before we get started, hour 2 of Good Morning Vail starts right now.
Get up, get ready to start your day. The mountains are calling you out to play. Come on, we'll make you feel right at home. Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
And we are back, but you want to know about the weather that is happening this week because it couldn't be more different and all across the spectrum. Let's take a look at today. As you can see, 34 degrees currently at about 8 a.m. We're looking at a high of 45 and 60% chance of a snow and wintry mix. We're looking at the winds coming in at the west by southwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour, and that's how you know the snow is rolling in. Looking at that hourly forecast, 34 at 8 a.m., mostly cloudy, and clouds continue throughout the day until that snow showers start to hit. We're looking at 31 at noon, 40 at 4 p.m., and then 37 at 8 p.m., moving into the I-70 corridor. And this is where it always gets interesting. Denver, 68 and sunny, practically summertime temperatures. And then Vail, 45 in Vail, 46 in Avon, and then we're looking at 48 in Eagle. Wintry mix happening all throughout the I-70 corridor west of Denver. Tonight, a low of 24 degrees, snow 90% chance, which means it's probably happening. We've got snow showers, and it will be very windy as we move throughout the night tonight. Winds coming from the west by southwest at 20 to 30 miles per hour. So definitely make sure that you are wearing the appropriate clothing, you're where you want to be. Tonight's not going to be the fun night for travel, I'll tell you that. And then Tuesday, 90% chance of snow showers. We've got 25 for the high, and we are back into the single digits, 6 degrees for the low. And then Wednesday, the sunshine is back, 35 for the high, 14 for the low. And then those temps we've been so used to the past couple of weeks. The 40s are back to see us on Thursday. Sunny all day long on Thursday, high of 41, low of 22. Friday and Saturday, high of 43, mostly sunny, and then 27 and 25 respectively in the evening. So lots happening in the weather over the next 5 days. Definitely make sure that you are prepared and ready for it. Watch out for that snowstorm that is rolling in this afternoon and all day tomorrow. But before we get started with the rest of our hour, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this.
Good morning, Vail.
Hi, it's Max at TV8 Vail. We want to invite you all to the Wacky Winter Reading Program. It's open to all ages. All you have to do is read 10 books or 1,000 pages. For more information, go on our website, tv8vail.com. And thank you to our sponsor, the Eagle Valley Library District.
Think Big features top kid inventors who face off against each other to see who can come up with the most innovative and creative invention. And Think Big kids acquire and showcase their skills in creativity, science, marketing, design, and don't forget, teamwork. Check your local listings and watch the world's most innovative kids. They create and invent new toys, games, websites, and new modes of transportation. Tune in to Think Big.
America was built on a love for the outdoors. We are a nation of sportsmen, blessed with magnificent natural resources. With broad interests across water and field, we are united in our devotion to nature and conservation. Join us every week for the best shows celebrating the outdoor lifestyle. Outdoor America. Live free.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
Hi, I'm Gretchen Pleshaw, host of TV8 Vail. From fashion to food, from film to festivals, experience a unique look at the boutiques, spas, restaurants, and venues that make the Valley so special. Join me for Glitz and Glam. Find it in Good Morning Vail or at our website at tv8vail.com. I can't wait for our next adventure.
Dog Tales is America's premier dog lovers magazine show. This series is all about dogs and the people who love them. Featuring dogs of all sizes, shapes, and breeds, keeping you up to date with all the latest news from the dog world. Sit back and enjoy a fun program for the whole family. Check your local listings and tune in to Dog Tales. TV8, there's more for you on 92. Serving the local community 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Good morning, Vail.
Now, I'm so excited. This next guest is a very close and personal friend of mine, but he is also an incredible professional poker player. Joining me on the couch today is Alex Livingston. He is so incredible in what you do. So, Alex, how are you?
Good. How are you doing today, Kate?
Thrilled to have you here, fresh off the plane. You came straight to Colorado from all over the world internationally playing poker and in Texas and Vegas. So, tell me about your life. How did you end up as a poker player?
So I was always into card games and board games as a kid. I was a chess player actually from age 4, and then my family taught me bridge, which is kind of not a popular game anymore, but in my my parents' generation it was. So we played bridge at our family cottage every summer from when I was 6 years old, and 2 hours a day, every day for a couple months. And so I was always used to card games and board games, and then just kind of transitioned into poker.
That's great. And so you started playing poker while you were learning some things that most people would follow as a traditional career path, but you realized you were pretty good at it. So when did you go full time into poker? How long have you been playing? Tell me all the stories.
Yeah, so it's kind of a funny story. I did a trip to Europe with a friend of mine right before I was supposed to go to my senior year of college. And I ended up sleeping through my flight back to Boston, which is where I was going to college. And he and another friend, they were both there, and they said, we decided we're going to stay in Amsterdam for a couple months. What are you going to do? You can stay with us or you can go back to school. So that was kind of a existential crisis I had, and 2 hours later I decided to stay in Amsterdam. I'd say that's sort of where my career was launched.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you've been playing poker professionally. You play mostly in person, but every once in a while you play for fun online. But talk to me about your tournaments. You've won so many different things. What have you won?
So I won a World Series of Poker bracelet a couple of years ago in 7-card stud, which is kind of an older format of poker, but one that I really enjoy. And then I came in third place in 2019 in the main event of the World Series of Poker. So that was kind of my biggest accomplishment.
That was a big deal. I know.
Yeah.
We were all cheering you on. You know, we had some friends that went to watch in person, including my brother, who will be here on the couch in a little while. But,
that's right.
So talk to me about poker. You know, people don't really understand it as a career path. You know, they look at it as like a game of chance, but it's a game of strategy and probability and hedging your bets against the wins and the losses. So how do you manage that?
Yeah, so poker is it's a unique combination of luck and skill. Most of the casino games, you have no chance at beating the house because they have that built-in edge. Whereas with poker, you're playing against other players. So as long as you're playing better than them, in the long term, you're going to win money. And I describe it usually to people as a combination of statistics and psychology. So you have that math side where you have to understand the probabilities. And then you have that human psychology side, which is probably the part I find more interesting, where you have to try to figure out how people's personalities work and then how they're going to play poker, but based on their personalities, and then you adjust your own game to sort of cater to that.
That's true. You know, you are so good at asking questions and getting to know people. So if we ever needed a guest host, you're coming in. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know if I'm made to be a TV host.
I don't know about that. You're so great at asking questions. So what do you have going on? You played in Europe for a while, and you're actually heading back to Las Vegas. So tell me about the tournaments that you've recently played and then what you're playing in Vegas.
Yeah, so I was in Europe in the fall playing some tournaments there in the Czech Republic, and then I actually just recently got back from Brazil. A friend of mine was hosting a big series there, and I played some tournaments there. And then I'm going to get on a plane tomorrow to fly to Vegas, and there's a mixed game series going on, which is really fun for me because basically that's a bunch of different types of poker. So it keeps your brain moving instead of just playing Texas Hold'em, which is the most common type of poker you see.
And that's the one that most people know how to play.
That's the one that the majority of people who play poker, they think of Texas Hold'em. Whereas this tournament series is going to have 7-card stud and deuce to 7 triple draw and a bunch of other types of poker that most people wouldn't have heard of.
That's great. Yeah. So what's been your favorite poker moment outside of the bigger tournaments? You've probably played with some really interesting people.
Yeah, I mean, I've played with some celebrities, which was definitely fun. I played with Don Cheadle. I played with Russell Westbrook. I have to say, like, anytime I've gone deep in a big tournament is probably, and when we say go deep, it's kind of a poker term when you make the final table or the final couple tables. That to me is kind of the highlight, and particularly the main event, just because it's just like an escalation, basically, of intensity and pressure, and I actually really enjoy the pressure. So.
That's great. So what, on average, if you're not playing like the big televised poker games, like how long does a poker game usually last?
Yeah, so there's tournaments and cash games. A tournament could be anywhere from a fast one could just be one day, whereas something like the main event's dragged out over 10 days. And then with cash games, you can just sit and you can leave whenever you want. So you could sit and play for a couple hours if you just had a few hours to spare in the day. So cash games are a nice option, especially for people who have a lot of other stuff going on in their lives, because tournaments are usually a full-time commitment where you have to sort of block open at least the full day.
Yeah, that's great. So what is your favorite way to play? Like, do you have a preference? I know that's kind of an interesting question.
It's a tricky one. So I would describe my style as always trying to, I don't like go in with one set strategy necessarily. I'm always trying to feel out how my opponents are playing and then adjust my game to them. So I'd say I have a pretty adaptable game. In general, I'm on the aggressive side. Typically, that's an important move in poker. You want to be doing a lot of raising and betting rather than calling. But I would say I always try to just feel out what's going on at the table, different players, their energies, and how I think they play, and just kind of cater to that.
Sure. So poker, it's like sports, essentially, because you've got certain seasons.
Minus some of the athleticism.
Well, it's the mental athleticism, I'd say.
Right.
But you have like a really intense season. So what does your typical year look like as a poker player?
Yeah, so as I've sort of pivoted more towards tournaments, I used to play cash games where I didn't have as much structure to the year, but now as I've pivoted towards more being a tournament player, I have sort of busy months and then quieter months. So it really all kind of centers around the World Series of Poker, which is a series of about 100 tournaments in June and July, of which I'll probably play 50 to 60 of them. And so I sort of have usually a quieter May leading up to that series, and then a quieter August after that series, and then the rest of the year I try to find tournaments to play. But that June and July is quite intense. I usually play about 70 to 80 hours a week for 7 weeks in a row, so it's intense, but I love it.
So imagine your sleep schedule is all over the place during that time.
I basically try to get as much sleep as possible. It's basically sleep, workout, play poker, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't have much of a social life during that time. But yeah, some days, you have trouble sleeping, but I do try to prioritize sleep as much as possible since I'm getting so many hours of poker in at the same time.
And you have to be mentally prepared because you never know what other people are going to do.
Absolutely, yeah. It's one of those things where doing all that stuff away from the table, trying to eat well, trying to exercise, trying to sleep is super important for just having that focus at the table.
It's true. So outside of poker, what are you doing? Where are you? What's your life like?
Well,
what other
traveling
do you have
a
any
lot.
other
Sometimes I go on
business
ski trips with you and Greg.
It's true.
I do have a couple of rental properties. One of them is just kind of a mixed unit building that has full-time tenants. The other one is pretty interesting. It's near a golf course called Cabot Cape Breton, which is actually 2 golf courses, Cabot Links and Cabot Cliffs. And I rent that house out on Airbnb to golfers, and it's a pretty famous and well-known golf course. So you have people traveling in from, certainly a lot from the States and Canada, and then we've even had people from Asia and Europe flying in to play that course. So they can stay at my property, and it's just 5 minutes from the golf course.
And
so
that's up in Nova Scotia.
That's in Nova Scotia, yeah,
Mhm.
Cape Breton. So I spend part of my year in Nova Scotia, and I spend the other part in Las Vegas typically, and then in between I'm just traveling around. Yeah.
And you're a big golfer.
I do enjoy golf. I'm definitely not as good a golfer as I am a poker player, but I do enjoy golf. Yeah.
That's great. So what is your plan for the rest of this year? You know, we're at the beginning or the end of February, the beginning of March, and you know, what's your schedule look like?
Yeah, so I've got this poker series coming up that I was talking about. Then I've got a ski trip with you and Greg and a bunch of our friends, and then I have another poker series in Vegas. That takes me till April. I'll probably play some poker in April, and then I'll probably have more of a relaxed month in May to prepare for the World Series of Poker. And then, you know, August is usually more of a relaxed month, and then I'll get on the grind again in September and find some tournaments to play for the rest of the year.
That's great. So Alex, outside of, you know, playing golf and, you know, looking at investment properties, ski trips, and poker, you also sometimes coach. So where can people go to follow your journey or learn a little bit more about your pointers and tips that you have?
Yeah, so my social media handle on Instagram and Twitter is Rum and Chess. So rum like the alcohol, then the letter N, and then chess. And that started, it was an online poker handle that I created in college because I enjoyed drinking rum and Coke at the time, and, which I would never drink now, by the way. And I've always been a chess player, so I just came up with Rum and Chess.
Awesome. So people can connect with you, follow along your journey, and you post some really interesting things, especially on Twitter. You know, you're really kind of giving people the rundown of what you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's exciting. It's always so much fun to find out like where you are in poker tournaments, and I know we all really enjoy learning more from you as well.
All right, great.
Awesome. Well, Alex, thanks for coming. Excited. I hope you get to get out on the slopes and and we'll do
get out to maybe later today.
Get out later today, and obviously we'll keep folks in the loop as you continue your career this year.
Sounds great. Thanks a lot, Kim.
Awesome. Now we'll be back. We've got some more guests joining us on the couch, and we'll be right back after this.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome aboard. Bobby Laurie and Nikki Noya have your ticket to everything you need for an on-the-go lifestyle. Grab your boarding pass. It's time to jet set.
Hi, I'm Ben Belgrad, and I'm the owner of Drinking Vessels here at Bat Country Studios in Minturn. And I've been in the Valley for 7 years. I moved to the Valley because a friend helped me to get my vision off the ground, building my glass studio here, and being so close to snowboarding. So here at the studio, we're acting as a broker for 50 to 100 artists from around the country. We also offer glassblowing classes, and we bring many artists from around the country here to be able to work and create art collaboratively and be so close to skiing and all the activities we have here in the Valley. Here at Drinking Vessels, we specialize in handmade glass drinkware from artists around the country and around the world. Some of these are produced as more of an item you could get in sets and kind of get different color options as time goes on. And some of these are completely one of a kind and really high-end art that's unlike anything people have seen before. While I'm an artist myself here at the studio, I'm representing between 50 and 100 other artists from around the country. And most of these artists are able to spend most of their time working on their art while we help handle their marketing and their sales and the distribution and representation, allowing them more time to focus on their art. That's really my privilege in running this business, is creating that support and providing that platform for this big group of artists that are part of a movement that's very important to me.
Coming up this season on Ready, Set, Renovate, real homeowners tackle really big renos.
Welcome to the ugliest house in the neighborhood.
It's a wild ride from before to after.
If we go to the tile store one more time, only one of us is coming out alive.
Well, I didn't know he was going to do all that.
Between the budget and the timeline, it's makeover madness.
Good morning, Vail.
Now, our next guest has impersonated me as a news anchor on TV and on film, but joining me, he also shares my last name. I've got my brother and the actor Greg Perot joining me here on the couch. Greg, how are you?
I'm good. How cool is this?
It's pretty fun. I love having you here. So you've been a reporter before on TV and on movies, but excited to have you here. So you're an actor. Tell me about your life.
I am an actor, Kimberly.
I already know about his life, but tell our fans
First
about
of
your
all, how
life.
cool is this? Like, I am sitting on your show talking about my show.
I
Is that
know.
awesome?
It's kind of weird.
That's cool.
It's great. So you've got a new show coming out, but before we get into that, let's talk about acting. Tell me, how did you get into it? What do you love about it?
Wow. Okay. So, long story short, how I got into it is our mother convinced me to do
Our momager.
a musical theater when I was like, I think 15. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I heard about a friend who did extra.
You could drive. You had your license.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I heard about a friend who did extra work, and I saw all the cameras and the lights, and I just thought it was amazing. So that's why I got into film. Moved to California, and been pursuing it ever since.
You're in LA, so you've been pursuing it for a long time. We've seen the ups and downs of it. So as an actor, what's been the highlight so far? What has been the hardest part of it? Have you ever wanted to quit?
All the time. No, I'm just kidding. It's a difficult industry to pursue. I mean, you audition all the time and your heart goes out to wanting to be a part of these productions and these roles. But a lot of the times, people don't get to see the work we put into our auditions and then we never hear back. So it's a very challenging industry to be a part of. But it's a long game. And I always say, if you stay at it, you keep working at it, then eventually it just gets to be your turn. And so fortunately, I never quit and I have had some very cool opportunities so far. And yeah.
You really are. So the one opportunity that we're really excited to talk about today is your new show called Blue Ridge. It's a brand new series based off of a movie that was released in 2020. Tell me about Blue Ridge. Tell me about the character.
Yeah, Blue Ridge. I'm super excited for this one. It's based off the movie. It was starring Jonathan Sheck, and then it's created by Gary Wheeler. They decided to do a television series. It's a really cool action drama. Think like CSI meets Yellowstone. Okay. But the cool part is it's family friendly. So you get to enjoy it with your kids, and everybody can really watch it. And I'm really proud to be a part of a project like that. So
who's your character?
I play RP. I'm a deputy to the sheriff. So it's really fun. My character, he has an interesting perspective because he's from the town of Blue Ridge versus the rest of the department is not. So I have this cool relationship with the locals, but yet I have to be loyal to the law. And so it's kind of fun conflict that arises.
It's true. Well, really cool. I got to go on set with you in April and watched you film, and I think it was a really fun scene because you were chasing a bad guy who jumped out of a window, and you're like running after him with a gun. I loved watching it. It was so fun. Yeah. So when does the series drop? Tell me about it.
April 7th, and everybody can go to thecowboywaychannel.com to find out some more information about it. So
that's great. And then obviously we can follow you along on your Instagram and other things as well. So acting, I want to know, if you had if you had one piece of advice to give to anybody that wants to get into the field of acting, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Think long term.
Yeah.
Definitely think long term. And I always say too, it's very important to have a job that you're passionate about that can support your dream. Mm-hmm. Because, acting, you can be working nonstop, and then out of nowhere, you're not working for 6 months or a year. So you still need to work, right? And I think a lot of people burn out sometimes by taking on these jobs that they don't enjoy to support their dreams. So new actors, I always tell them, obviously get in class, just get as involved as possible. go to local schools and do independent films and do workshops, but make sure and have that job that you still love that can be flexible and support your dream. That way you can stay in the game long term, because that's what I believe it takes.
Well, that's true, and especially for you as an actor, you had COVID that hit, and then you had the actors strike and the writers strike. So what did you do in the off term, or the off season, I guess you could call it?
I love cameras. I love being on the other side of it as well. So I do photography, I do videography. So that is kind of my passion in how I work when I'm not on set working. So that's what I do.
Yeah, so photography, videography, doesn't have to be creative. You actually do a lot in the corporate side, and for weddings.
It's still creative. It's still creative. Come on.
Sense,
lighting angles.
People don't think about. I think as an average person, you don't necessarily think about that side of it, but it is. You've got to think of it, and the work that you do and the editing that you do is really great too.
Yeah, because my dream someday is to own my own production company for film and television as well. So, but acting is already the passion. It's the dream. So you have to focus. You have to apply your energy, and that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm just so stoked that I've had the opportunities that I had. I've been able to work with like Charlie Sheen and Mandy Moore, and a really cool, just very quick story is I got to work on Walking Dead one time, and that was so trippy because I've watched that show for many, many years, and then all of a sudden, you're lying on the ground and you hear the walkers coming by. They're like, "Wah!" It's such a trippy feeling. So that was a lot of fun.
I mean, I've been watching you audition for that show for years, and to this day, you made the final.
I got
episode?
the last season.
The final season. He's on
one
the show.
episode, but I got him there.
I get so many texts from friends that say, "Hey, did I just watch your brother die on The Walking Dead?" Yes, you did.
I'm a professional dyer. Luckily, not in Blue Ridge. Gary, please just don't make that happen.
But you've done some really cool things. So, what's been your favorite project, or what's your favorite part about being on set?
Favorite project it's really hard to say. I had so much fun working on Left Behind, Rise of the Antichrist that came out. We grew up on the books. Dad had all the books, so that was very surreal for that to become a reality. Got to work with Kevin Sorbo. That guy's a beast. He's just awesome. Very cool director and good actor as well. That was a cool experience. Like I said, Walking Dead, that was such an awesome experience. I don't know. They each have their unique perspective. I mean, that's what I love about acting is you get to take on all these different roles and characters and scenarios and just really dive into them. So,
well, speaking of dying, you worked with Neil McDonough on The Warrant and Left Behind, and we actually interviewed him a few months ago.
Oh yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah, and he gave you a shout out.
He's the man. Okay, that guy is such a pro. Just talk about working with actors. You get to learn from people, and just being across from him, he just walks onto set. His energy is just prepared, professional, and it's just really cool to see somebody like that and just take from them and learn from them. So
that's great.
That's cool. Yeah.
So Blue Ridge, do you have a favorite moment from filming?
Oh man, everything was awesome. It was like being on set was like being with a family. I mean, this is my first series regular on a show, so it was a really cool aspect to not only come and be a guest on a set, but be a part of the whole production process. And so it's hard to say a favorite moment because just getting to know everybody, just everything from hair and makeup and just chilling with everybody on set there, and then going and actually doing and preparing your scenes. And I don't know, I don't have a favorite moment. The whole thing was just my favorite moment. So.
How do you prepare for your scenes? I know, I've seen it. I got to see the trailer with you and watch you do it.
I won't go into too much detail because I don't want to bore everybody, but I have a few different processes that I've learned over the years. I'll just go for memorizing lines, for example. I have a little process that I call the 10-10-10. And depending,
I've tried it.
Yeah, depending on the size of the role, sometimes it's 20-20-20. But basically what I do is I read it through very slowly, imagine the world, the stage direction, all the lines, everything. And then I say each line 10 times differently. So that way it doesn't become robotic because you don't want that to happen. And then lastly, I'll run it 10 lines. Now that's just the memorization part. There's a lot more that goes into preparing for a scene mentally because acting's just a focus. You have to achieve the world around you and forget about all the cameras and the lights and just kind of be here present in the moment.
That's true. So RP, so you had to kind of create who you thought he was. And so what do you do that? Like, I mean, you've always been great at imagining magic worlds when we were kids. So like, what do you do?
You know, it's cool. It's a growing process. I mean, to start, I work through a whole series of questions. I try to get to know RP and who he is. And if I don't have an immediate answer from the script, then I create that world. So everything, backstory going from as early as middle school, up until the current moment. What did he do when he was younger? Who was his relationships? What molded him? What's his faith? What's his worldview? Because these help answer a lot of questions. But the cool part is you get to grow, and the character gets to grow. And you might see this sometimes in television shows where you see actors really sink into their roles, which is very fun. So there's a lot of questions that are still being answered, but that's the exciting part.
I know, I think it's fun when I've asked you at times, what's your method of acting? And you're like, you just do it. You just be. And it's true.
I think I'm a little more involved
no,
in that.
You are. No, I mean,
I just show up and
I mean, kind of like today, he just showed up. I'm just kidding. But Greg, where can we go to follow you on Blue Ridge, to follow RP and all the other projects that you're working on?
Yeah, you go to thecowboywaychannel.com. There's a lot of different streaming options on there, so that's the easiest way. Just go to thecowboywaychannel.com. You get all the information there. My Instagram handle is Greg Perot, spelled just like her last name, Perrow. Yep.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You've got the dynamic duo siblings.
Wait, are we out of time?
We are. We've got time for
Real
one last
quickly, Kim,
question.
how did you get into hosting?
Oh my goodness, so many different ways, but really it's because our wonderful, fearful leader, Danielle, took a chance on me, and I am loving being here at TV.
Well, you do such an awesome job. Thank you for having me. This is cool.
He just did my rap for me. So just like you said, we're done. So Greg Perot, ladies and gentlemen, great to have my brother here on the couch, and we'll be right back after this.
Good morning, Vail.
Learn the latest in science each week and how it relates to everyday life. From space exploration to plant biology to the latest in high-tech advances. Every new scientific development is explored and explained in an understandable way. Amazing stories each week. Watch Science Now.
TV8 te brinda la mejor programación en español todos los días. Sintoniza Conexión Latina los lunes, miércoles y viernes a las 7 de la tarde con repeticiones los fines de semana. Además, te presentamos nuestro nuevo programa Sabores y Creaciones, donde hemos juntado tus recetas y manualidades favoritas en un solo lugar los martes y jueves a las 7 de la tarde. Y por último, disfruta de Daily Flash Latino, con noticias y entretenimiento en tendencia los sábados a las 7 de la tarde. Te esperamos por el canal 92 de Comcast, nuestra página de Facebook TV8 Conexión Latina, nuestro canal de YouTube TV8 Vail Good Morning Vail o nuestra página web tv8vail.com.
Hello everyone, I'm Raisa Pascal. And I'm Andrea Jackson. Welcome to Life, Love, Shopping. Have any personal stories you can share?
Do I? Yes, I do.
So even though you work for some good deals, too good to miss on Flash Deals. Now check this out.
Studies show spending time outdoors can help with depression, lowering blood pressure, and overall health and happiness.
Suki and Scott show. We are feeling good today. Great show on the way.
Absolutely. Welcome to our show. I'm Suki.
I'm Scott.
And we are feeling good today. You know why? Because we had a great show.
When you're in Vail, you're in vacation mode, and you need a flexible home tour experience that fits into your schedule. We've transformed how you view and buy homes in the Vail Valley. With immersive, cutting-edge technology, you can explore properties 10 times faster. In our lounge, we guide you through this digital world on a 16-foot screen where you can imagine your next home in comparison to your favorite recreational spots. Say goodbye to multi-day home tours and hello to a quick stop between your other plans. That's the power of the immersion theater.
Good morning, Vail.
It's Kimberly with the TV8 Weather Center. Let's take a look at today's forecast. As you can see, 45 degrees for the high, but we're looking at about 34 right now. Rain's at 60% chance, which means a little bit of a wintry mix is happening as we look forward to that big storm coming in on Tuesday. We've got winds coming from the west by southwest at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Looking at that hourly forecast, 34 at 8 a.m. Noon, it drops a little bit for 31, and then it goes back up to 40 degrees at 4 o'clock with those wintry snow showers rolling in this evening. 8 p.m. 37 for the low/high, depending on how you want to look at it, and then moving into the I-70 corridor. This is the fun part. This is where the clear, obvious delineation is between Denver and the mountains. 68 degrees and sunshine in Denver. Vail, 45 for the high, 46 in Avon, and 48 in Eagle. 50 to 60% chance of that wintry mix happening today, but then moving into tomorrow, it's definitely going to show us a little bit more. Low of 24 tonight, 90% chance of snow, and then it'll be pretty windy with the winds coming from the west by southwest at 20 to 30 miles per hour. So, you know, you'll be hearing a little bit of howling out there, especially here in the Vail Valley. Looking at the 5-day forecast, Tuesday, it's the day that we're waiting for this week. 25 for the high, 6 degrees, single digits for the low, 90% chance of that snow shower. And I am glad because I'm not ready for winter to be over yet. Wednesday, 35 is back to sunshine for the high, and then 14 for the low. Thursday, sunny all day long, 41 for the high, 22 for the low. And then Friday and Saturday, looking like twins and the weather, 43 for the high, 27 and 25 for the low, mostly sunny with a little bit of clouds happening. So a lot going on with the weather. You know, we've got a little bit more here in our show, and we are talking to an author after this break, so we'll be right back after this. It's Kimberly here, and I am so excited to be standing here next to the marketing manager of Eyepieces of Vail, Danny Berry. Danny, how are you this morning?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm excellent. You know, I'm loving standing in the middle of the famous Goggle Bar. It's really great. So we're here at the Bridge Street location of Eyepieces of Vail. So tell me what's unique about Eyepieces of Vail. You've been a staple in the Valley for so many years. You've got sunglasses, regular glasses, contacts, and goggles. So what's unique about you?
Yeah, so Eyepieces, like you said, has been around for a long time. We started out really as like a sunglass prescription optical shop. And over the years, we thought it was really important to kind of integrate the goggle part of it all. We find it really, really important that you're able to see out on the mountain. So we curate a great assortment of goggles that will help you just see really, really well on the slopes. It's really a safety equipment feature when you're out there. Our motto is see better, ski better. And so with that, we do a lot of prescription services for the hill in your goggles. So it's kind of a unique product. We love getting really techie with it. We're opticians at heart, but we also live out in the mountains and we love skiing. So we kind of build those two kind of passions together, and we have a ton of prescription goggle products.
Well, I would argue that, you know, having the right eyewear and the right visibility on the mountain is the most important thing from a safety perspective, because if you don't know what you're doing, you can't see where you're going, or if people around you can't, then that's where things happen. Yeah. So talk to me about your prescription. Like, how does that work? And, you know, if we were to come in, can we bring our own goggles in, or do we have to purchase them here? Tell me all about it.
Yeah, so we have a couple different prescription offerings. If you already have a goggle that you love, or you have several goggles that you love to kind of rotate through your assortment of skiing equipment, we have a prescription insert that works great in a variety of goggles. We call it the butterfly insert. We put an anti-fog coating on the backside of the insert, and then we're able to kind of put it in whatever goggle that you want. It's a very universal fit. So if you have your sunny day goggle and then you have your cloudy day goggle, you can move them back and forth. Or as you can see, we have tons of great options back here if you want a quiver of goggles as well. But this is a great option if you just want to be moving it around. It's very lightweight.
Is
big
it
lens.
pretty flexible as well?
Yeah. So like I said, it's a very universal fit. So we can most likely fit it in any goggle that you want, or fit it in any of the goggles that we have here. So this is a great option. Super quick turnaround. So if you're needing something in a couple days, We can make that happen. If you're coming out in a couple days, give us a call and we can, get it started for you so that it's ready by the time you get here for your ski vacation.
So you can call and email your prescription in if you are not physically here.
Correct.
That's
yeah.
great.
So we always encourage people to do that so that it's ready to go and you are all set for the rest of your ski vacation.
That's amazing. So let's say you have the same pair of goggles and you wanted to switch your lenses out. Do you have to take the butterfly prescription lens out first and then you switch the lenses? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's so easy to take in and out. So if you have one goggle and multiple lenses, it's super easy. You just take this out, it takes 1 second. You can switch out your lens to the sunny or the cloudy day and then put that insert right back in. It's very sleek. So from the outside, you can't even tell it's there.
Yeah.
So no one will know that you have that insert in there, but you can see great with your, custom prescription goggle.
Best vision on the mountain.
Yes,
that's
definitely.
Amazing. And that's what makes Eyepieces of Vail so unique. So you have been in the Valley for so long. So tell me about anything exciting that's coming up.
Yeah, so this is a very exciting winter for us. We are celebrating our 40th anniversary this winter.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, we're very excited about it. We've grown quite a bit in the past couple of years, but we're very excited to be able to celebrate this with all of our wonderful customers, our fantastic team. It's a really incredible milestone. We have some exciting parties coming up. We'll have our 40th anniversary party. We have a collaboration coming up with one of our favorite brands, Chrome Hearts. So we're very excited to be able to announce that. It's basically like a custom design frame that we're doing with the company. So we'll be launching that in February. And then our 40th anniversary party is in March. We're very excited to be celebrating all that.
40 years in the Valley is so impressive. So in regard to that, you have celebrations, you have parties and events coming up. So are these open to the public? Are they invite only? Tell me a little bit more about that.
We'll be inviting a lot of our customers, but we always kind of have an open door policy. We love to meet new people, have old customers come back in. Keep an eye out for those invites. We also have all of our events listed on our website. So if you want any updates as far as, what's coming up for parties, trunk shows we'll be doing all winter long. Some really great brands where they kind of come in a different vendor every week and they have a huge assortment of everything from their collection, and customers can have that really personalized kind of shopping experience with some of our sales reps and our staff members and, do prescription lenses, but all of those events are listed on our website.
Amazing. And if you're anything like me, you like to have options. So you have all of the options here at the Goggle Bar as well as the trunk shows. So where do we go if we can't make it to any of the events and we want to just pop in? What are the typical operating hours? Where are you located? Tell me all about it.
Yeah, we have 8 locations. They all have slightly different hours. So we have 4 locations in Vail. This is our Bridge Street location right by the gondola with our Goggle Bar. We have our Village Center location, which is across from the Solaris. We have our Sport location, which is in the Sun and Up Hotel. Lions Head in Lions Head Village, a little bit of a smaller boutique experience. We have Beaver Creek in the Beaver Creek Village. Edwards in Edwards Corner. We have our newest location that opened up this past summer in the Willits Shopping Center in Basalt over in the Roaring Fork Valley, and then a Snowmass location in the Snowmass Base Village, which is our second location in that valley.
So preferred vendor for all things eyepieces and eyewear. This is a really fantastic store. What you all do is wonderful. You do white glove service for each customer that comes in. I've witnessed it just standing here. It's wonderful to see the work that you do. So we appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Now tell us, where can we go one more time for more information?
Eyepieces.com. It has information on all of our prescription services. You can schedule eye exams on our website. More details on all of our locations, hours, all of our brands that we carry, a huge assortment collection-wise, and events. And you can also you can shop for kind of accessories on our website as well.
Awesome. Well, Danny, thank you so much for all of the information. Congratulations, 40th anniversary. That's huge. It's really great to be in business for so long.
Yeah.
We love the work that you're doing here and the brand that you've established in the Valley.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Now stay tuned. Keep it here for more. We'll be right back after this.
Good morning, Vail.
For fun and adventure, join me on Elizabeth Stanton's Great Big World. Find out where I'll be going next and which celebrities I'll be bringing along with me. I'll show you amazing destinations with lots to explore, and you'll get to know my celebrity guests the way they really are, up close and personal. We'll travel the world, experience new cultures, and together, try to make a difference. I'm Elizabeth Stanton, saying the world's a big place, and I'm going to show it to you.
Good morning, Vail.
Now it is an afternoon, or a morning rather, of arts and entertainment, and I'm very excited about this next guest because she is a New York Times best-selling author. I've got Victoria Aveyard joining me today. Victoria, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me today.
So I'm very excited because this is the finale of your Realm Breaker series, and the book is called Fate Breaker. Tell us all about the book and the series.
Yeah, of course. I like to say that Realm Breaker is Lord of the Rings meets Guardians of the Galaxy. So if you like something from one of those stories, you'll probably find something you like in mine. It was very much written for me when I was a geeky teenager looking for a book that I felt like was an adventure that I could be a part of. And it very much asked the question, you know, what happens when the usual heroes fail? You know, who's the JV team of saving the world? So I had a ton of fun with it.
That's great. So tell us all about the characters. Now, this is the series finale, but it's really, it's been fun to kind of see the journey of the characters throughout all of the books. Can you tell us about this book in specific?
Absolutely. So our sort of band of criminals and misfits who do have to save the world are grounded around a teenage, not so chosen one named Coraine, who kind of against her will happens to be the only person who can save the world from something her uncle is doing. And writing her was really therapeutic, and I think would be very relatable to any young person, or any person really, who's figuring out who they are and what they want from the world. She's someone who is going from a place very sheltered to suddenly being thrust into the world that she wants to see, but then realizes it's a lot bigger than she expected.
So how is writing this series finale versus the others? Like, what was the process like? You know, was it bittersweet because you knew the series was coming to an end? Tell us all about it.
A little bit. I mean, I'm sad to leave the world, which is a good sign. It means that I did my job, even for me. But with writing a series, I know where it ends. I always know where I start and I know where I end. It's finding the path between the 2 points that's always interesting. But it was sort of, I knew what I was building towards in this third book, and the real challenge was making it feel like it was big enough and exciting enough, and it was going to feel as special as the other 2 books to readers. And even though I'm my harshest critic, I kind of think I pulled it off.
Well, it certainly sounds like it. Now, with the other 2 books, you know, you had such a huge following with them, and they were on the New York Times best-selling list. So that's very exciting. Now, what do you hope readers get out of the finale of the series?
So one thing that I realized as I was writing this book series, I didn't go into it thinking, oh, this is my message that I have to parlay. But as I was writing it, I realized so much of this book series is about the importance of people coming together against a common enemy or a common threat. And it's one of my frustrations that I have with the world is, you know, you have a problem, we all know it's there, but we can't put aside our differences to fix it. And so I was kind of living that out in this book of people being able to say, there is a problem, we're going to fix it.
I love that. Now, when does the book drop? When can readers get their hands on it?
Tomorrow. I'm technically have my book launch tonight, but it should be in stores everywhere tomorrow on Tuesday.
That's great. Now, do you have any other exciting works in plan, or tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as one book is finished, you are rolling right onto the next idea. Thank God I keep having them. But I'm working on a proposal for what I think is going to be my adult debut. So far, I've written mostly for teenagers. It's new territory, and I don't think it's going to be a series either. I'm excited to write a book that's kind of one and done.
That's great. So you've got a couple of series. You've got the Red Queen series. Now you've got the Realm Breaker series. And this is just really exciting stuff. But you also were a screenwriter, or sometimes dabble in that as well. Can you tell us about your writing journey?
Yeah, absolutely. So I studied screenwriting in college, and that's where I think I learned everything that I know about storytelling, about character, about plot. It's all the same. The bones of story are the same, no matter if you're writing a script or a book. And I feel like that was really valuable to me. I also learned how to talk about stories. So for something like this, that was very valuable. Because most writers, we're not here because we're good at talking to people. But yeah, it's been really helpful as well when we're trying to work on adaptations for my work. I sort of know the groundwork there, and I know where I can be useful, and I know where I step back.
That's great. So do you find yourself just walking through life, kind of creating stories and making mental notes of what you might want to write about next time? Like, what is your process?
A little bit. I definitely have those moments where I think, that's a good story idea, or that's a cool name, and I will write it down. So be careful around me.
I love that. Well, Victoria, it's so great to have you here, and congratulations on your book, on the latest and greatest, Fate Breaker of the Realm Breaker series. Is there anywhere that we can go to follow your journey, your writing journey, and really just connect with you as the author?
Yeah, I'm probably a little too active on Instagram and TikTok, but I love it because the book community there is just explosive, and there's so many of us.
All exciting stuff. So we'll follow you on TikTok and on Instagram, and very excited for you on this, the finale to the series. I hope you have a great book launch party tonight, and best of luck.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Victoria Aveyard, the author of Fate Breaker, joining us here. Check out the series, get the new book tomorrow, and thanks so much. We will be right back after this.
Good morning, Vail.
Show. We are feeling good today. Great show on the way.
Absolutely. Welcome to our show. I'm Suki.
I'm Scott.
And we are feeling good today. You know why? Because we had a great show.
I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now! Our independent news hour offers diverse perspectives and unique opinions, often unheard in the mainstream media, live as the news unfolds. Tune in for Democracy Now!, the War and Peace Report, weekday mornings at 9 and evenings at 6 on TV8 Vail, Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. There's more for you on Channel 92.
More than ever, kids need information to help them better understand their surroundings and to better protect themselves. Each week, this program works with the various law enforcement agencies across the country and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, spotlighting several missing cases, hoping someone, like you, might have information that will lead to finding these individuals.
Join us in exploring the everyday lives of community members here in the Vail Valley. Hear their inspiring stories of how they came here, their contributions to our community, and why they chose to call this place home. We want you to be one of our neighbors. If you would like to be featured or nominate someone to be featured, please send an email to Danielle@tv8vail.com. We look forward to featuring your story right here on TV8.
Do you love the outdoor lifestyle? Make sure you tune in every day at 8 p.m. to catch Scoreboard Nation. It's an outdoor lifestyle show dedicated to your 3 favorite mountain towns, Vail Beaver Creek, Park City, and Reno Tahoe. Join us for an incredible venture. Find us on TV8 Vail, Park City Television, or at thescoreboardnation.com. We can't wait to see you there.
Good morning, Vail.
It's been an exciting Monday morning edition of Good Morning Vail, but before we close the show, the thing that we're all going to be talking about for at least the next 24 hours is the weather. Tomorrow, Tuesday, 90% chance of snow showers, 25 for the high, and then single digits, 6 degrees for the low. We'll definitely be seeing some wind as we roll into that weather there. And then Wednesday, the sun is back. We love the sun. It's 35 for the high, 14 for the low. Thursday, 41 for the high, and then 22 for the low, and it'll be sunshine all throughout the weekend. 43 on Friday and Saturday, 27 and 25 for the low. But man, it has been a fun Monday morning. Normally I've got a co-host here with me, but instead I've got my friends and my family joining me on the couch, and it has been so much fun. We've got Alex Livingston, professional poker player, Sydney Ledden, interior designer of Centennial. I always struggle saying it. She's got an incredible design studio, and then my own brother, Greg Perot, joining me here on the couch as an actor and mostly as my brother. So guys, it's been a blast having you here on the show. And I think what's been fun is that there has been a common theme. You all know me. But outside of that, you all talked about the long game in your careers. And I think it's we had a really fun way to talk about that. Like Alex, you know that you're in it for the long game. And Sydney, you talked about how your designs take a couple of years. And Greg, acting, your advice was know that you're going to eventually get your chance. So a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't know. So guys,
can I just put this back on you for a second? You do such a good job, and I feel so proud as your brother to watch you do this.
You know, it's like thanks to our momager, so mom and dad right there. Hello, thanks for giving us great siblings. But you know, we've just really had a blast to like get to know you all here, and you know, some of the things that we have in common are what would you say?
Snowboarding.
Obviously, ski trips.
We all work for ourselves too, I think.
Yeah, we actually do.
Which
is really cool. Yeah, talk about long game, owning your own business, or you know, being kind of a freelancer it's a ride. It's a journey.
I think the other thing we were talking about, you know, over dinner last night, Alex, you and I were saying how we all kind of travel a lot, and we're always on the go.
But we get to meet up at all these fun places. Yeah, exactly.
It's true, but you know, it's pretty great, and love having you guys here. So it's a great start to my Monday. I know we love having the energy here on TV8, but yeah. Any last shout outs? We've got 10 seconds, guys.
To you.
Quick.
Together.
The shout out is grind, you know, stay focused, live your best life. And thanks for joining. I'm Kim, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. You're home in the right